What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, oh, that really hurt my hands. All right, we are going to compare these two guns. This is the Nighthawk TRS Commander. This is the Staccato C2 Duo. And I laugh because I know everybody right now is down on the keyboard making fun of me. Before you make comments, let me explain. One of my Patreons asked me to... He didn't ask me to compare these. He said, hey, I know you've been shooting the Nighthawk and you've shot the Staccato. What's the differences? Is the Nighthawk worth twice the price? Is the Staccato good enough? What is the difference? I do anything for my Patreon supporters, and I do mean anything without exception. Feet pics, you got it. Whatever the Patreon supporters want, they absolutely positively got. So he asked, so I said, you know something, homie, I've done this before. I'm gonna make a video and dedicate it to you 100%. This video is dedicated 100% to Bill because he's a Patreon supporter. He is the man, and let's talk about the differences between the guns. Now, the brands in general. Staccato is a production level 2011. Not that that's bad quality. It's very duty grade. I would have no problem carrying a Staccato every day. EDC, if I was an officer on duty, anything like that. Like, I'll drop, I'll smash, I'll throw this gun, and I will not hesitate, will not care. Nighthawk is a work of art. Their motto is one gun, one gunsmith. Parts come off the machine, they hand them to a gunsmith, and one gunsmith custom builds you these guns. Some of these gunsmiths are like groupies where they have followers, and certain people request certain gunsmiths to build their gun. It's a whole thing. But the fit, finish, it's a fine piece of art. And if you felt and shot both of these guns, you would understand why the Nighthawk costs twice as much. You may not want to spend that money. You may not be willing to. I get it, I'm cheap, but you will understand at least why the Nighthawk costs twice as much. So, we're going to go quickly through the features, compare them. I'm going to tell you more what's different. So if you are wondering, well, should I spend twice as much to get a Nighthawk or just get a Staccato? Hopefully I'll give you a little bit of ammunition to help you make that decision. Now, magazines, very sad to say. Alright, they both take 2011 patent magazines, which is great. High quality, both magazines for both companies are wonderful. They're metal. They're not cheap, they're expensive, but they're high quality. I said that sucks because what I have here is two 10-round magazines. God-awful state of Rhode Island. I have a 2011 with the 10-round magazines. That is piss poor. The Staccato comes with three 16-round magazines, which is dope. The Nighthawk comes with two 17-round magazines. I don't know which one you would rather have. I would rather have the three magazines losing one round than gaining one round and having one less magazine. That's just my opinion. Now, there are bigger magazines that hold 20 or 21 rounders that are still 2011 pattern that will work in either one of these. Just so you know. Magwells are going to be very, very similar as far as the size. The Nighthawk is a little more aggressive on the inside, so funneling that magazine in may be a little bit easier on the Nighthawk. The grip. The Staccato is significantly lighter. It has a polymer grip, so if you're carrying it, you may like that. It is significantly lighter. The new generation Staccato has a different texture. I still prefer the old one, but the new one is fine. The gun's not moving. It's only 9mm. A 2011 shoots really, really nice anyway, but the texture is a polymer type texture, and it's fine. I have no problems with it. I wouldn't complain. Maybe... So you can customize these guns a little bit, the Staccatos. And one of the things is a different texture grip if you want to. The Nighthawk grip is a metal grip, and you definitely feel the weight, and that's one of the reasons it shoots nicer than it does. It has all these circle patterns on here, and when I first saw them, I'm like, this is not very aggressive. But again, because it's a hand-fit custom gun, when you shoot it, it doesn't matter. The gun is not moving. The TRS Commander shoots like a full-size gun. When I shot this, like right before I shot this, I shot their Sandhawk, which is the huge full-size 2011 with a big comp, and I thought this was not going to shoot nearly as nice. And when I shot it, I'm like, this shoots a lot nicer than I thought it would. It shoots like a full-size Nighthawk, even though it's a little on the smaller side. So the circle grip I thought was going to be slick, but it's not. It feels really, really good. And again, both guns, you can get an aggressive grip if you want to. Now, the mag releases are really pretty much the same. Spot, texture, size, drops magazines freely. I have nothing that I can off the top of my head think of differences with the magazine release. The grip safeties on them are going to be the same as far as effectiveness. Like, I've never had a problem with either one of these. If you care, the Staccato is a softer, easier. There's less spring tension. The Nighthawk is harder. I don't think that matters at all in any way, but I figured I'd mention it. The Nighthawk does have a little bit bigger of a beaver tail. Now, the one thing I mentioned with the Staccato, with the Nighthawk, you can really get in there and customize it because it's a hand-fit gun. Colors, triggers, serrations. I mean, you can go on the website and look. There's a huge list of different things you can customize on top of it being a hand-fit gun. Now, the trigger, there's a very big difference in the trigger here. The Staccato has a good trigger. It's a polymer trigger. It's curved. It's very, very good for duty. The very small take up to a wall, decent little reset. The trigger is good to go. Now, the Nighthawk trigger is sensational. It's flat face. It's metal. There is about the same amount of take up, but it's a very, very light trigger, and it's definitely a shorter reset. So yeah, that hand fit trigger is very, very nice. And they are both adjustable as well, but no doubt better trigger on the Nighthawk. Rail is going to be about the same. The Commander's a little longer, but it has a standard one cutout. I've tried several different lights on here. Streamlight, Surefire, smaller ones, full-size lights. No issues with lights. I wouldn't worry about that. Slide release, slide stop, whatever you want to call it. They're in the same spot. So you're going to put the magazine in and come over and drop that slide with the thumb on your support hand, or come over the top. You're probably not going to reach it with the thumb on your right hand. The Staccato actually is textured, and I think it sticks out a little. No, it doesn't. I'm going to call them about the same, very, very close. But the Staccato does have a little bit of texture on it, if that's something you care about. The safety, the Staccato comes with an ambi safety. It has some nice texturing on there. It's tactile, it's audible, it's good, no issues there. The standard safety on the Nighthawk is strong side only, and then if you want to get an ambi one, I think it's $120, but definitely do not quote me on that. I did zero research, by the way, before I started this video. I have no notes. This is all off the top of my head, so I'm probably going to make 1,000 mistakes. Serrations on the guns are going to be about even. Again, you can do some customizing here, but out of the box, they both have front serrations, rear serrations. They lean forward. They're aggressive enough. You know, I have nothing bad to say. I smile because the Nighthawk is just so stinking smooth. But yeah, serrations are fine. No issues there. Both the sights can be pushed out. They're just dovetailed in there. The Staccato comes with a fiber optic and a blacked out rear sight with some serrations. The Nighthawk, we're going to talk about the optic and the rear sight in a little bit, but you can get a bunch of different sights, whether you want fiber optic or night sights or anything like that. You can get quite a few different ones. So the optic system now. All right. Where do we start with the optic system? Staccato first. I believe the non-optic ready version, if I remember correctly, is $2,000. If you want to get the optic ready version, it's $2,500. You can either put the Loophole Delta Point Pro, that footprint right down to the slide, which I always love when you can mount an optic right down to the slide. If you want to do an RMR like it's on this guy, you will need to buy an accessory plate. Don't skimp on your accessory plates or your optic mounts on your rifles. CNH Precision, CNR Precision, whatever it is, that's what this one's for. Really, really high quality. There's a spot in the back, a dovetail to add in the rear sight so you don't lose the rear sight, which is great. God forbid your optic goes down or the battery dies or something. Having that backup iron sights is my preference. So that's the Staccato system. The way the Nighthawk works, to get an optic ready feature on it, it's $350 extra. Then the accessory plates are another $150 extra. So again, $500, kind of similar to the Staccato. The difference is when you take the accessory plate on and off, the iOS system has like a tapered dovetail in there, and when you take the optic off, you don't lose zero, which I thought was crazy. So you could put the iron sight back on here if you wanted to for some reason. You could swap different optics, like if you wanted to carry an RMR and when you go to the range have a much bigger dot, or if you're in a competition have a bigger dot. I don't know the practicality of it, but it's kind of cool. If you take the plate off and put it back on, you don't lose zero. With the Nighthawk, The irons are built into the plate on the front of the plate that goes in front of the optic. So I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I think that kind of looks cool. I don't know if you care either way, if you want the rear sight behind the optic or in front, but that again is just what I'm presenting to you. Now taking them apart is very similar. There's one difference with the Nighthawk. There's a little spot in the recoil. Not the recoil spring, the oh my god, guide rod, excuse me, that you have to put the takedown tool. I've been told you can use a paper clip, but I was too afraid to try. So you have to have that little tool or something to stick in there before you can take it apart. With the Staccato, very standard 2011-esque, you do not need any tools or anything like that. So obviously you're going to make sure the gun is unloaded. That's number one, the first thing to do. On both of them, right behind the spot for the slide release is a little tiny cutout, and you're going to line that up with the slide release, slide stop, and then from the other side you're going to push that slide release out through. Once you do that, the slides come right off. You do not need to pull the trigger or anything like that. The Nighthawk has a captured recoil spring guide rod combination unit, kind of like some of the bigger Staccatos do, which is nice. It maintains all in one, comes right off, and then it has a very, very nice barrel. Both these barrels are beautiful, bull barrels, solid lockups. Again, the Nighthawk is going to have a little nicer fit and finish because it is hand fit gun, but both guns are very, very nice. The Staccato here, it has a cup, it has a separate recoil spring and a separate guide rod, all in separate pieces. I don't think, for me, that doesn't really bother me. I don't really care. It takes an extra 2 seconds to take it apart. But I'll point it out because God knows what people do and don't care about. I've reviewed both of these guns as separate reviews already on my channel. If you want to get more information, more detail, the Staccato review is several months old. The Nighthawk is probably only a week or two old. But those reviews are there if you want to get more detail. I brought both of them to the range several times. Not several times. Call it 3 or 4 times, which I guess is several. And I wanted to shoot the same drill with both guns to see what they're like and what the differences are, and kind of compare them and see what I have to just compare them, you know, side by side. No doubt the Nighthawk shoots a lot better. There's less felt recoil, the gun shoots flatter. Again, it's twice the price. You should absolutely expect that. If a gun was twice the price and didn't shoot significantly better, there would be a problem. So, no doubt, it's a nicer shooting gun. It's a flatter shooting gun. The Staccato shoots great. I love Staccatos. I've reviewed the XC, the XL, the P Duo, the C2. I have a ton of Staccato reviews. They're good folks. They make great guns. I am not bashing them at all. But obviously, the Nighthawk shoots a lot nicer. So, this is what I say to people when they ask me a question like this. Like, what's the best high-end gun? Do I get a Wilson? Do I get a Nighthawk? Do I get an Atlas? Do I get a Staccato? I'm going to say the Staccato is going to be your best value if you're looking for a high-end gun. It's the entry level for the high-end gun. It's going to be the best value. If you want something higher end than your Glock or SIG or Smith or HK or whatever, Staccato is that gateway to the high-end guns that shoot significantly better. You can do a lot of customizing on them. They're going to be great for duty or EDC. If you want to beat up a gun like I do and you don't want to be worried about it, Staccato is a great choice. Don't get me wrong, $2,000, $2,500, still a lot of money, but I would run the snot out of a Staccato and beat it and drop it and do whatever I have to do, and I wouldn't feel all that bad. Where a Nighthawk is an absolutely beautiful gun. It's a work of art. You could carry it. You could use it for home defense. It's capable of doing all those things, but me, I am so damn cheap. I would be afraid to carry a beautiful gun like this. My buddy Kevin let me borrow this gun. My buddy Johnny let me borrow the Staccato. Thank you to both of you gentlemen. And I was afraid to carry it. I only carried it, I don't know, a couple weeks or something. It's a really nice gun, and I have a holster for it. I was just so afraid. I'm like, if I break this gun, I do not want to have to come up with $5,000 for a new one. It's more than capable of duty, EDC, competition, home defense, any of those things. I'm just too cheap and too much of a baby to do any of those things with it. So, how did I do? No notes, no preparation, no thought, willy-nilly freestyle off the top of my head. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes. I'm sure every mistake I made, you keyboard warriors, Staccato, Nighthawk fanboys will be down in the comments on me. I don't care. Bring the hate. I love the hate. This video, again, is dedicated to Bill. Bill is a Patreon supporter, a friend, a good dude. I love Bill. He asked me the difference between both of them. I am going to upload this video and send it to him right now, and then you guys will see the video a few weeks later. Again, I do anything for my Patreon supporters. Why are you not a Patreon supporter? It's $1, $5, $10 a month, whatever you want. Please hook me up. Patreon, Patreon, Patreon. All right, what else do I got? We got swag. Seriously, if you want to support the channel, the swag is the best way to do so right now. We have short sleeve shirts, we have long sleeve shirts, we have patches. You will look so darn cool in a Tiberious shirt. I promise you, man, you're going to be beating the ladies off of you when you put one of these shirts on. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to know what I'm reviewing right now in real time before the review comes out on YouTube and Rumble, the links are down below. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook if you'd like. More important, thank you guys for watching. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notifications. If you do any of those things, again, I appreciate it. It helps me out. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.